is just so pumped because these are really, really exciting team comps. There's different strengths and weaknesses to each team, but there's no real clear-cut advantage that you would say these guys are ready to go toe-to-toe. This is, these are the brawlers boxing into the 10th round kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But, oh man, we do see Akali actually picking up that teleport, which is a little bit, unusual. You
Oh no,
usually
relax,
expect like
yeah.
an ignite, but that teleport is going to help Akali to, control some stuff. I'm actually frozen in this game.
I'm not frozen, but holy crap, teleport and Kali. I would be so afraid bottom lane to push up and be aggressive just because it's like, oh yeah, we're kicking some butt, and then behind us Akali comes in and la 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 la, she just cleans up and then she's fed and you're done. I mean, you feed Akali, your game's over.
Yeah, this is weird. I'm not frozen, but it's all the champions are just standing still, like if you've lagged out.
Well, perhaps you'll come back if you need to restart. You might want to do that soon before
Yeah.
the game starts so you don't miss anything. So
Yeah,
far, we're not...
I was gonna say everyone's actually starting now. I'm at 105.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. 8,
Perfect.
9, 10, 11.
Yep, perfect.
Okay, good. So it doesn't look like we're going to see any level 1 fights. Just a lot of laughing from Ezreal. He's quite giggly today. He had his bowl of Lucky Charms, and he's, a little bit of a sugar high. But that should wear off as the game goes on.
Yeah, one thing that's a little bit surprising to me is Tristana has gone with the Doran's Blade, so she will have a ton of damage output and a little bit of HP, so that does favor her if they're going to be aggressive for early kills. But if Ezreal can get some harass damage, then very quickly Tristana could fall behind because Alistar's heal isn't really, it doesn't compare with Soraka's. So they do have the heal advantage. But right off the bat, Tristana and Alistar are taking the mini golems, and that's something that you see them doing a lot when they're on this blue team. It will give them a really quick level advantage, which is just going to be awesome. They're going to be level 2 for a significant period of time while Dignitas is still waiting at that level 1.
Exactly. I feel the same way. So that is going to be one of those surprise level 2s where they're like, oh crap, I didn't realize that you guys were going to level it so much faster than us. And if they decide to go very aggressive right there, as soon as they hit level 2, then that's one of those power plays, kind of like a timing attack in StarCraft, that could really pay off. They're just going to have to do it perfectly. They're going to want to kill these creeps off as fast as possible. The only problem with that is they may push. Here we go. Here could be the aggressive play. He's going to go in for that attack. He is going to flash in, knock him up. He's going to try and push him back. He's going to take a little bit of tower damage, jumping in, but she actually misses the jump, and the special could possibly go down here. But no, he does walk away. Conquerors did not want to chase that. He was pretty low as well. So it did not work out for her, especially. Took a few tower hits, and that kind of put him behind. So I think that actually is going to not pay out too well for them. It was very close, though.
Yeah, and Tristana, she barely missed that rocket jump onto Ezreal, and she still has her ignite. So if that rocket jump had gone down, Ezreal definitely would have gone down. Like, there was no question about it in my mind.
Yeah, she was really looking to get that off. Luckily for Ezreal, he did have his flash, I believe. Yeah, he did use his flash to make it out of that. So that's if not for that, he would have been first blooded for sure. Up top though, let me see if Colby's able to do any kind of interesting stuff. Rainbow's actually out of mana, so as Void Boy gets higher and higher level, I think he should be fairly strong against him.
Yeah, she has been getting a couple of Qs onto the Rain Man, and he started off with the boots, so that does give him some mobility advantage in lane. But I was kind of thinking that maybe he would start with Cloth Armor, get a little bit more regen, and as a result, he has been having to use his abilities to do some damage. And then, Tristana just once again bottom,
Yeah.
kind of zoning out Ezreal for a second here. She does get those E's onto him and just doing some nice damage there.
Yeah, I liked the way he did that. He jumped on top of Ezreal, shot him once, and then he dodged to the left, making Ezreal miss his Q, shot him another time, and just putting the maximum amount of damage output while reducing the return fire on his part, and that's just kind of showing how strong he is with those AD carries. Just those really small things like that. Oh, it looks like we're going to see an engage.
Udyr coming down. He does get the stun onto Cassiopeia. They are chasing after him, so he's going to take some damage. But Cassiopeia is out of mana, basically, and she's pretty low health, so Ryze can take advantage here. It looked like he might have been walking right into that brush where Cass was, and maybe they could get a jump on him. But good awareness by TSM, recognizing that Udyr would be back at this time. He does have those boots.
Yeah, he actually threw out an exhaust, which it feels like it was kind of wasted there. I think he was expecting that to be chased down a little bit further. So now Reginald no longer has that exhaust to be used against Jet, and so we'll have to see how that plays out here as the game goes forward. Jet is placing down a ward that's going to help out Skara in case the odd one tries to come around and gank from that area, and then I'm sure that Scar is probably going to have to provide his own ward for the other side in a second. But do we have a little bit of action coming up from the top lane? Jad just putting a bit of pressure on the Rain Man, keeping him low health, making it harder for him to lane against a Colby, but he is going to go ahead and back out since the lane is pushed up. He doesn't want to take the risk of pushing out there with a Udyr close by.
One thing I was kind of interested to see whether or not they would do it again last night in the match against CLG. The odd one, he actually gave his first blue buff to mid. So he went standard cloth pots, but then he went mini golems, wraiths, wolves, and then gave that very first, very early blue buff to mid. So that didn't happen this game. You know, that Cassiopeia definitely could have used that in lane, but she'll probably get the next one, as will Rise. And at that point in time, you know, they really have a ton of damage output between them. You know, really could be anyone's lane with that damage output and all that burst.
Oh, wow. So it looks like Volvo is trying to go back to base and buy and stuff, but Rain Man hit him with a nice little spike right at the very end of that B and stopped him. That's probably one of the most annoying things that could happen.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Udyr trying to come in. He will get into this brush. They didn't see him, so he is up in this brush. Alistar coming in for an aggressive headbutt. Tristana jumping in, but Jet is going to chase him down. He's doing a ton of damage to Xpecial. Xpecial is going to go down. There's the first blood. They're trying to get the damage onto Trish. Can she get over this wall? She flashes over, but then Jet flashing after. This is going to be a double kill.
Double kill first blood. That was really nasty. Great job by Jet being there in that bush just at the right time. Xpecial going in, and he just didn't realize that he was there. That would have otherwise been a possible kill on Ezreal. Nice aggressive play. But that just shows the strength of those bush ganks, and that's kind of what you see nowadays. They didn't have a ward in that bush to warn them, and whereas on the other side, Dignitas did. They actually had 2 wards in the bush there. I think, well, one of them expired now, but yeah, that's just shows you the importance of putting one of those wards in that bush, especially if you're going to try and be aggressive against someone who could potentially bush gank you there. And that's a nice little start for Dignitas on bottom lane. That's going to force Tristana to not get that early lead that she really, really strongly needs. And on the other hand, giving Ezreal a nice strong lead is never a good thing either.
Yeah, and one of the great advantages of that bush gank, you know that Tristana and Alistar are being super aggressive in this lane. So recognizing that they're going to engage, that really gave them the opportunity. Like if they were just to sit back and be like, hey, we want to farm like most DPS bot do, you know, just kind of casual farm, then they wouldn't have been so far out of position, which is really what resulted in all of those kills.
Agreed. So yeah, I mean they really they kind of took a risk, I think, in playing that aggressive style there. It could have gone really well for them, but in this case, with Dignitas kind of playing smart against it and knowing how to counter it, it just kind of backfires on them, and now they're going to be behind. And in fact, let me see, what is the CS? He's probably actually CSing really well though. He's still beating out Ezreal in farm. If I'll say one thing about Chaos, is that he farms better than probably anyone else I know as a AD carry on bottom. He like just almost never misses the last hit.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty even across the lanes, but mid and bot, little CS advantage for TSM, but then top lane, Akali definitely doing work up there, and you know, Cho keeping in the lane, but not really providing any good counterplay or preventing Akali from farming. So she's really going to come out with a ton of damage into these mid-team fights. And they both have that teleport, so you know they know that they can each control Dragon particularly well. Yeah,
so Volvo up here, anytime he puts that E onto the Rain Man, Rainman's got to be a little bit fearful of getting bursted, because with that extra mark, Akali does do a ton of extra damage. So so that is the scary thing. And Cho'Gath does obviously have to go up and auto attack. So all she's got to do is stand up close and throw out the E, and there she goes. She's just jumping in. Boom! Look at that huge amount of damage. Already taking him below half health, and just from a little bit of burst, and he can continue doing that. Boy, all he has to do is use his abilities, and he'll be able to regen his HP just from doing abilities. Whereas Rayman has to actually last hit minions to get his health back from that.
Yeah, and now that Tristana is level 6, but they are both, you know, level 6. Tristana, she adds 300 burst with that ultimate, but it's actually more like 400 because you can still attack while they're in midair. So it works as like a disable. So you know, they probably going to be a little bit safer. They do have a ward in that brush to prevent those lane ganks. Reginald actually doing a little bit of damage on Rise mid. She did throw off her ultimate, wasn't able to pick up the kill, but they will have a lot of damage bottom. And in the meantime, Udyr coming in.
The gank.
And Nocturne is definitely set up for it as well. Cassiopeia is going to be fine, probably. Rise isn't really in a position to help. They are going to get some damage off onto Udyr, though. Not a whole lot happening.
I like what Reginald did there. He saw Udyr coming in, but he still got aggressive on Rise, thinking that he could actually bait Rise into going for the assisted gank. But he knew he would have killed Rise if Rise tried to help out, so Rise had to run away. Smart play on his part, on Rise's part, for running away there. And another reason is that Reginald actually knew that Nocturne was coming in, so he had great map awareness, seeing that his jungler was coming in to help out anyway. So even though Jack caught up to him and did a little bit of damage, the other one was there to kind of push him away and say, hey man, get off my mid lane. And that's just, I like both sides played that very well, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and that Nocturne, really effective as a counter gank. You can throw off that ultimate and blink in and be like, you know, hey, were you trying to say something here? But in the meantime, Dignitas actually going down for Dragon. Yes. Cassiopeia just recalled. Nocturne a little bit low, you know, so he's not going to provide as much control. So it should be interesting. Both of the tops have their teleport up, but there's a pink ward from Dignitas, and TSM doesn't know it's happening right now.
They don't have any clue. I think they just CV'd it, so they see, but it's too late. So that's a pretty bad deal for them overall. Dignitas now has both 2 kills and the first dragon onto TSM, and they're gonna have quite a nice little lead there. They got about 2K lead. All the right champions with kills too, which is of course, well, I don't know, Udyr getting strong. You don't want Udyr to get fed because he's just unstoppable force at that point.
Yeah, and Udyr, because it is that Phoenix Udyr, he does just go straight tanking items, essentially. So early kills, you know, very quickly he could be a threat that they just can't kill Udyr. They're trying to pump out that damage and just can't do enough. So we do see TSM actually able to pick up the tower mid. Reginald doing a good job there. He'd been poking it for some time. So that does help them come back in the game. That mid tower early will provide a lot of map control.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so that at least gives them that one advantage over Dignitas. Any kind of pushing map control, they'll help out. Of course, one point of getting that early map control is being able to take the dragon, which they've already lost. So hopefully they'll at least have the timer on that dragon since they did CV it, and they will be able to pick up the next one when it comes up, or at least try and contest that. And that's probably where we'll see our next fight. But we do see Reginald doing his standard little run into the tri-bush here. They're waiting for the push. Once he pushes in the tower, we're probably going to see a nice a special ultimate going in, trying to get either Soraka or Ezreal. I'd say they would want to go Soraka. They do have her pinged. So here it is. They're going to go in. She is kind of silenced, but I think they're going to get the kill here. Nice job. He gets both of them knocked up. That's going to be a double kill most likely. But here's comes the teleport. Void Boy's going to come in. Maybe mop all these guys up. I don't know if he can go on 1v3 though. That would be really risky. But now here comes in Rise, flashing in, getting Reginald in the bind. There goes one. There goes, nope, that's not 2 because he'll live that.
What is this fight? This is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
Akali's still chasing.
Yeah, I think Reginald got a little nuts trying to go in there. That's going to be 2 more kills. Now Kiak's going down. That's 5 kills total now for Dignitas, and Rain Man on a run. If he doesn't get out of there, he's going to probably go down to this Jat kid. Scar still got full mana. He's ready to go. Rain Man getting really, really low heal. The Odd One does not want to help him out. He said, dude, you're on your own. I'm getting the hell out of here. And Rain Man is just a pile of bones laying on the ground. Oh, wow. You just said the Ezreal ulti coming in. He actually almost got the kill, too.
Wow, so it was a 3-for-3 exchange. No, actually, it was 3-for-4. Alistar went down as well.
Yes.
So that is in Dignitas' favor, but everyone just coming bottom very quickly. I was about to say that is one of the strengths of Cassiopeia. Is, as we had spoken about earlier, she is one of those champs that can push the lane very effectively and then roam some. So really aggressive gank. They picked up the quick 2 kills, but then wow, Dignitas just completely on ball. You know, they didn't have any wards to see him, so that's maybe something they'll want to correct, is getting a ward closer to mid-river so you can see that movement. But able to pick up the rest of those kills, Nocturne the only one surviving.
Yep, it was really close, but I think that Reginald might have been able to make it out alive there. He did try and go a little bit aggressive. He had no HP, and that Colby just jumped in and took that kill, no problem. The scary thing is that she did get 2 kills there. So she's actually able, if you look at her items, she built up her Hextech gunplate in 14 minutes. So she's just going to be just nasty. I just want to watch this lane and see her do a burst combo on a Rain Man and just see how much damage that does. He actually has a Merc Tread. That's going to give him a little bit of max resist, but I don't think it's going to help as much as you might think against an Akali.
And in the meantime, Cassiopeia was coming bottom. Soraka did see her at mid-river, so they're actually just going to push down this tower. So Rise is coming to counter him out, but Tristana does have
This is
really
going to be bad for the
effective
Raymond up
range.
top. He's going to get caught by Jat and Voyboy. He's getting slowed now, and he used his proc from that the active, and he's definitely going to go down here and get dove by Jat and Voyboy. Voyboy with another kill, and they're probably going to be able to push this tower, do a good amount of damage to it. If not, take it. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that tower is going to go down. Bottom tower, they do take out finally, so that's going to be one tower for one tower, but another kill onto Voyboy is just going to make it even harder for TSM to deal with her as the game goes forward. But will they take out the second tower? This is going to be really bad if they can't hold this. This is actually really good in TSM's favor if they can get this tower, but I don't know if they're going to be able to take it. They are going to have to back out. No more creeps there to hold them, and since that top tower is gone, Colby's already on her way. That would be very dangerous for them to stick around.
Yeah, it is pretty low though, and picking up a couple of towers, they are at a tower advantage over Dignitas.
Yes.
So that will help them keep them in lane, and they do have that fantastic team fight control. If they get a really nice organized fight, Tristana has the benefit of the range to just poke down towers, and then if Akali or Udyr tries to engage on them, they've got Cho'Gath, they've got Alistar, they've got Cassiopeia, all these great people to just throw off that AoE damage, throw off those AoE disables, and say, no, Tristana is going to be attacking these towers freely. So that's definitely something that they're going to want to get back in their favor.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Chaox has been able to keep up with Ezreal and creep farm anymore. He is falling behind now as the game goes forward, as they've been really aggressive and they took down that tower, and Ezreal has just stayed in the lane farming, whereas Chaox has been kind of running around trying to do some other things. The dragon should be up very, very soon. I think that this pink ward, I can't actually see the time on it, but I don't know if that's a new one or not, but I think they're getting ready for that next dragon fight here very soon.
Yeah, the last dragon was at around 12 minutes, 11 minutes,
Yeah,
so it will be up any second now.
Any second now.
And it's actually interesting. We thought that Tristana might go with that Wriggles. She's actually going for straight damage, and then Ezreal, on the other hand, is picking up the Wriggles. So Ezreal doesn't really have a lot of damage in these team fights. He's still really strong early, and he does have that sheen for those procs. But he will, kind of fall off a little bit quicker than you'd expect Ezreal to. In the meantime, they are going after this dragon. They're going to take it down very quickly. That's a free dragon.
Well, they had the exact timing of when it would be up, and they actually preemptively got there before the dragon spawned, took it out immediately, and there was nothing that TSM could have done about it. They were not anywhere in position ready for it, whereas Dignitas, they were totally on the ball. They have a huge lead right now with almost 3K gold at this point. Yeah, about 3K exactly gold. And let's see if TSM can still come out ahead with their team comp advantage and try and push this tower down. They do have that nice range from Chaox to try and hit that tower down, but I don't know if it's enough.
I'm definitely a little bit concerned by the Wriggles. I don't like it as much as on Ezreal as on other DPSers because he does have that fall off. But the rest of the team is doing particularly well. As Rise, is pretty close to his Banshees. He does have some armor as well. Udyr particularly fed at this point in the game. He's got a ton of CS along with those kills, so he's got a wit's end. He's close to getting a Banshees of his own. He's going to be pretty tough to deal with. And then as we had already said, Akali does have that Gunblade.
Yep, Colby already has a Gunblade. We're going to see her just staying up top, farming as much as she possibly can. She knows that her team can hold it. S4, they've already lost the mid tower, so there's no way for her there. She's still got her tower there, so of course she's going to want to keep that. And Dignitas having such a great lead right now. They don't even have to do anything crazy. They don't have to really go for Baron. They just have to continue getting those dragons every time they're up, and just continue to farm. And as Akali gets stronger and stronger, then it's going to be really hard for TSM to deal with that. Of course, they don't want to make it go too long because, yes, obviously, Ezreal does fall off in comparison to Tristana. However, I think that they should be good as the game goes on if they continue with this current advantage that they have.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to me. I was just looking. Cassiopeia is going for Realize early, and usually you would expect your AP to get some nice damage items, go for like a fast Rabadons or something. But they already know that they've got kind of a damage advantage on Dignitas as the game progresses. So because Dignitas doesn't have any disables, that slow is going to help.
Top. Rayman doesn't have a
Udyr,
tower. Yeah, he's going to get aggressively attacked here. He actually flashes, doesn't really go anywhere with it, but here comes the counter gank from the Odd One. He's going to try and help out as much as possible. Voyboy is taking quite a bit of damage. Will he get taken down? I don't know. It's going to be really close. Voyboy takes out the Rain Man, and Jat going to run away. Actually, no, he's going to run back in because now that we got Cassiopeia down here, Voyboy's going to be able to take that one out as well. Does she have one more dash? I don't think she has another dash. She uses her flash and gets fear just in time. Wow, what a great timing on that fear. She would have definitely taken out Reginald with that flash, but not going to be the case, especially going to try and pick up Jat. Jat flashes out just in time before getting knocked up. Good job there, and overall, that was a pretty sick fight, and Akali gets another kill, so still not good on their favor.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Dignitas is going to take bottom tower, and because Tristana is down, TSM can't really push top as aggressively, so that will give Dignitas some extra gold to kind of counter off that little skirmish there.
Yeah, crazy little skirmish. They got 2 kills. They did kill the Void Boy right at the very end, right before she got the third, which would have been really bad for them, but at least they kind of escaped that one. So bottom tower there now. Tower's even. That puts them at just complete advantage now. Next thing we're gonna see here is probably I don't know. It might be a little bit early for a Baron. Let's see. They don't have 2 Wriggles, do they? No.
Yeah, and I think the issue with the Baron, they would have plenty of damage if they find the right opportunity, but Ryze, usually he doesn't have to worry about his mana pool, but if he's going against a Baron, he's going to spam those abilities and, drop mana pretty quickly. Same with Cassiopeia, and then if the enemy's engaging, you really don't want to leave your, general caster carry with that low mana disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. So far, I'm curious how they're going to handle this. Right now, TSM is really having an issue with Akali. They're going to have to figure out the best way to deal with her. If they can get her taken out quick enough, I think they're going to be able to win their team fights a lot easier. She's really their main source of pain right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the advantages of their team. They do have, all those damage and disables, and then the Cho'Gath Feast could go onto Akali really quickly, just, instantly take her out of the game if they, do have a nice fight. Udyr, in the meantime, is going to come in. He gets the stun onto Cho'Gath. He's chasing with the red, but he's going to switch targets, chasing after Tristana now, and their whole team's kind of split here, so they don't really know who to focus. They are going to back up and not going to be able to pick up any targets here.
Yeah, so it looks like they wanted to make an engage. They couldn't really find a target they wanted to focus. They knew that they put everything onto the Cho'Gath, then they would have gotten counter-engaged on and killed, because that's exactly what a tank wants, is they want you to use all of your main abilities. Wow, I don't know what Lux is doing. He might have been trying to kill... Oh, yeah, he's trying to kill that ward. He wasn't actually able to target it, though. That's the unfortunate thing about putting wards inside a Baron, is it's almost impossible to kill that thing when you really want to, when there's like people chasing you. Oh, here we go. Reginald gets caught. This could be a free Baron if they decide to go for this.
Yeah, and actually the way to target the ward is you just attack the ground, and then your character auto targets. But
I don't attack
Cassiopeia
Baron,
definitely getting caught out, and then Akali coming in. They were about to recall, but then the pink ward, they're going to get a lot of damage onto Akali, but they're really just all kind of grouped in a cluster here. Akali was pretty low, but she jumps back in on top of Tristana, and then the heals from Soraka. She's going to stay alive. This is going to be a sweep for Dignitas, and then they're going to be able to take the Baron after this.
Wow,
that is
full
huge.
Ace. They got a full ace there. They noticed that they were backing in that bush, and Akali runs up, takes them out. Wow, this is just a complete shutdown. TSM getting totally wrecked by Dignitas after these last 2 fights, and that's gonna definitely... I really don't see how TSM can come back from this one, save for just some crazy mistake, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, really, the whole catalyst for that fight, they need Cassiopeia's damage. They need her ultimate, but she was just caught out of position. So without her damage, they weren't able to take down Akali. They just didn't have enough damage for it. So, really just unfortunate play there. They do still have a strong late game advantage. A couple of people on Dignitas will fall off, but Dignitas, just such a commanding lead right now. They're going to take another dragon, and that's going to put them up about 9,000 gold advantage.
9,000 gold advantage. That's a Baron buff there. They got 10 kills up. They now have, let's see, still even on towers. I guess they just didn't take that mid
3
tower.
dragons, even on towers.
Yeah, 3 dragons. Pretty sick. So we're going to see what items they pick up here. Akali now has her Rileys built as soon as she goes back, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Did she go back yet?
No, she hasn't. There she goes now. So she doesn't have the Rileys. She's just about 100 gold short.
Yeah.
But Tristana, she does have enough damage. She did go for that Negatron cloak, to kind of protect against Akali a little bit. And Cho'Gath, he does have that force of nature, so I think really it's going to be key whether or not they can force them to get some targets onto Cho'Gath and really have a nice organized fight. That's what they need to do. They need to keep Cassiopeia and Tristana in the back, protect them with all these beefy characters they have up front. But that last fight, they were all just stuck in the brush, all just kind of grouped together. So Dignitas was able to feed off of Chaox, and then Reginald wasn't there.
Exactly. That was just a big deal, and then the fact that they were up in that top area, and since Dignitas knew that they were there, that's what really. If they were able to be, it would have been a much different situation. They might have still gotten Baron, but at least TSM would have not gotten aced and just completely lost the game. Now, I mean, there's like a small chance in hell that they could probably come back and win this, but I really don't see it happening in this type of setup because when you're playing with two extremely good teams. That type of disadvantage is just a huge deal because most teams can really just minimize their own mistakes and capitalize on any kind of disadvantage that the enemy team has. And that's what you're probably going to see with Dignitas here.
But I think you have to consider that Cassiopeia and Cho'Gath can do a pretty good job holding towers, and just as I'm saying that, they are taking mid, and Akali split pushing top, so she's going to get some good damage onto Cho'Gath, but I think they can stall out a little bit better than you would see against certain team comps. So, potentially if they can stall out some, maybe catch Dignitas, with their pants down, or just, farming into that late game where Tristana and Cassiopeia were really coming to their own.
That's pretty much, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to see Tristana get some more items. She does have her Infinity Edge, which is good, but if you notice that mid tower, they're just brute forcing it down right now. They're just having Jat run in with his shield, taking a few hits, and everybody's putting as much damage down on it as possible, and it's going to go down eventually. They're not going to be able to hold this out forever.
Right. Yeah, and that's I guess one of the things that just can't happen. Dignitas, because they have such a huge advantage, as you'd been saying, Udyr is able to just walk up and tank that tower, so it doesn't even matter if creeps are there. So, in the meantime, Cho'Gath going to be getting caught up here. He should be okay to get back, but they are going to move on to this top tower.
Yeah, he's just going to tank it, as I was saying. He does have the Frozen Heart, so he's got tons of armor. Let me see, what is he at? 321.
Shield.
321 armor. Exactly,
oh
exactly. 321 armor with a Soraka heal. I did not realize Soraka gave.
In the meantime, they are coming in. They do have the ward onto Akali. Akali's going to go down very quickly, but Cassiopeia going down as well. And all they've gotten is Akali. They're almost picking up Soraka, but Soraka flashing out. So they're going to be chasing after her, but that's not really going to accomplish them much. Tristana goes down in the meantime. Ezreal very close to going down, but here's Nocturne Rise almost picking him up at the flash, and then Special popping that Ezreal into a wall, but Cho'Gath very close to going down. He's actually going to get back to his fountain. So fairly even engaged, but the damage dealers for TSM are down. They don't have Tristana, they don't have Cassiopeia, so this is going to be a tower. It's going to be pretty hard for them to defend, but the fear going off onto Udyr, there it goes. All they can really do here is kind of disable them and poke them off the tower. Not really going to have a lot of damage.
So here we go. They're just going to move back. They took out quite a bit. They weren't able to take the towers, but they did pick up a few kills. They got them about half HP there on that top tower. I'm sure on the next push, they should be good to go. Their Baron buff probably going to wear out pretty soon. They did make very good use of it, though. Yeah, it's gone. There it is. Okay. But yeah, they did make very good use of it. They pushed down a lot of stuff with it.
And really, I guess what we're seeing, Joe, though, is just fantastic play by Dignitas. It started off such a narrow lead, and they just, it hasn't been a ton of kills all at once. They did have the huge fight that got them the Baron. That was massive. But for the most part, it's just been slowly pressing, pick up the dragon here, pick up the tower here, just working your way into this game, into that advantage. They are going to be coming down mid here. Ezreal kind of off on his own, but they're comfortable with where they are. They do have a ward over at blue, so Akali in the meantime, because her teleport is up, she's going to split push bottom once again, and it's hard to say that TSM has the team to even fight them 4v5 here. Clearly if Akali didn't come in, then they would benefit, but they are actually all going to group up and take this red buff, just steal those buffs, just very comfortable, very conservative play.
I think it really comes down. If you look back, I had mentioned that it's good that I felt like the teams were very, very even, and that the only really differentiating factor would be the which jungler helps out the bottom lane the most, and then who gets that
Oh
first
yeah.
dragon. And that's what we saw. We saw Jack come in with his Udyr for that bush gank. Boom. Took out 2 kills, and then they had the perfect timing on that dragon. They took it at right around 11 minutes, and then perfect timing on the second dragon, and that gave the momentum to Dignitas to win them out throughout the rest of the game. Without the early kills onto Tristana, she's just not as useful as she really needs to be. And Void playing his best champion, that doesn't help out either, by the way. So overall, I mean, it's just too much. It compounds. And just those small leads like that. Here it goes. It looks like they're going to be going for the engage. Jack going to be trying to stun some people, get him caught. Especially going to go down. No
Man.
way. Yeah, he's done. This game is over. Reginald gets caught now. He's gone.
There's Cass.
Yeah, there it is.
This is GG.
That is the game. And, I think TSM did play very well, but against the Snowball team, like having Void in a call. Look at this. He's going to flash in, try and get a kill before the surrender vote goes off. Not going to be able to make that happen. Nonetheless, though, good job to TSM.
That's the finishing pose.
And definitely very good job for Dignitas. You guys were on top of those dragons. Very nice job for Jat. I think he pretty much made the game there with that bottom gank. Otherwise it could have gone a lot differently. And then, of course, Void just getting super fed in all of the team fights. Nice teleport into that very early fight, if you recall, when he teleported down bottom, picked up like 2 or 3 kills. That was a huge fight. And that from that point on, that was pretty much Dignitas' game, I believe. So I'm curious to see what TSM does to come back from this. If we're going to see an Akali ban or how they're going to counter this out next game, though.